Absolutely. Video's rolling. Hi, Tom. How are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Super duper. Okay. Video is rolling. What else we got? This is up. Okay. I think I got everything. Here we go.
Recorded live.
Hi, this is Cheryl Parton, and welcome to GC Community Chat with your host and my husband, Carrie Parton. Enjoy the show.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of GC Community Chat. I'm your host, Carrie, and joining me tonight is Wayne County Commissioner Richard LeBlanc, Dr. Tom Iwinski, and Mike Jones. This show is dedicated to the residents and businesses of Garden City, as well as the surrounding communities. Remember, we're working hard to promote our community and yours. Well, hello again, and welcome back for another episode of GC Community Chat. You're listening to show number 250. Wow. I know. Well, no, that's 300. 300, we get another shirt. All right, for June 18th, 2015. This is the podcast where we promote news you can use from our community to yours. I'm your host, Carrie, and joining me tonight are my co-hosts, Wayne County Commissioner Richard LeBlanc's in the house.
Hey.
How you doing? You doing?
I'm still standing upright today.
Rough day, man.
It's a bloody day.
We're going to have that later. Our favorite weather guy, Dr. Tom Iwinski. Tom, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys? Right.
We're doing super duper. And former Garden City Councilman and longtime resident of Garden City, Mr. Mike Jones. Mike, how are you?
Just super duper, as you say, Carrie. A thrill a minute, peachy keen.
Can't complain, I guess.
No, it doesn't do any good anyway. Besides, it'd be contrary to my philosophy.
Right. So, hey, Richard, I've had a few listeners ask me that when you run for Westland City Clerk, and if you should win, will you continue to co-host on the show? Would you care to comment on that?
I sure would. So, just like I'm campaigning right now and still making all my obligations in my three communities and on and on and on, my hope is that unless I get kicked out of this joint, I would be allowed to stay on. I may admittedly need to scale back because I'm not aware of all of the board and commission obligations of the city clerk today.
Right.
And there may be some things that conflict, but we'll sort that out when we get there. I know that there are various clerk staff. I mean, there's only 3 in the office. But there's various clerk staff that are assigned specific duties. So once we figure that out, I don't expect too much of a change.
Cool.
Does that mean I'm not fired?
You're not fired.
Woo!
We're always happy to have you on the show. You know that. You are part of the team.
Teamwork.
Okay, we have a lot to get to tonight. We have no actual guests for tonight, but we do have a few topics that we'll be discussing. First up will be the announcement by the county executive asking the state for the declaration of a financial emergency, and another bombshell for the residents of Inkster finding out that they will be assessed yet another judgment in the amount of 0.47 mils on top of the 6.45 mils that's already being assessed. How much more can they take? And the oldest person in the world at 116 passes away, and she's right from here in southeast Michigan. So we'll get to that too. Richard, I know you had the pleasure of meeting her.
Yes, Ms. Geraldine Talley.
Mm-hmm.
Heck of a lady. More spry than you might expect.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, I don't mean to be morbid or anything about it, but it was a pleasure to know that she died in her sleep.
Right.
As opposed to something traumatic.
Yep, I agree.
At that age, heck, you earn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
That's the best way to go.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I feel too. Yep. If I'm going to go, I want to go in my sleep. Yep. Right in her own house, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, her daughter discovered her, and
yeah,
everybody is really at peace with what happened.
Yeah, that's good.
Yep.
All right, Doppler Tom's going to be here shortly with the latest Father's Day forecast. Joey and Holly have their 2-minute gardening tips. And you know what? Tonight's topic is green beans. Ooh, yum. I like
Love
green
'em.
beans. Love them. Also, Mike's going to be here with some community announcements and much more. So why not kick back, grab your favorite beverage, and hang with us for the next 60 minutes or so. We have ours, don't we?
Lemonade.
Here's to David. Should be a good time as always. You know, it's very easy to join us here tonight. All you have to do is contact us. You can call in by dialing 1-724-444-7444 and enter the call ID 82757 followed by the pound sign. Or you can join us in our chat room by going to TalkShoe.com and search for show ID 82757. That takes you right to our main show page where you'll click on the large join in button. A window will open, sign in as a guest, and that's all there is to it. Once you're in the chat room, you can type your questions and comments at the bottom of the page, and you'll find our phone number and show ID there as well. And also text your questions to us at 734-788-9319. The audio from tonight's show will be posted on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GCChat as soon as it's made available, usually about 30 minutes or so after we sign off. We're also doing a live unedited video of tonight's show, so you can put a face with the voice, and that will be available sometime possibly later tonight, but tomorrow for sure on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/communitychatshow. And while you're there, why not subscribe to the channel? That way you'll be notified when we post future shows, and you won't miss any. And if that wasn't enough, we are in iTunes. Just search for GC Community Chat. All right, before we get to the weather, I just want to mention that if you would like to be a guest on this show, we would love to have you. We still have plenty of dates available. Maybe you own a business or belong to an organization. You'd like to share your information with us in the surrounding communities, then just send us an email at gccommunitychat@gmail.com, and we will shoot you some available dates, and that's all there is to it, so contact us today. Now, a couple guests have been, we'll be coming on as soon as we can lock in a date. City Manager and Police Chief Bob Murray wants to come on, wants to talk about the safety millage coming up. Police and fire millage, the renewal. And also we have to shoot the Yankee Air Museum some dates. I know you were out there, and they were talking about possibly coming on, right?
Yeah, during my personalized tour, I made the observation that
that was pretty cool. I saw some pictures.
It was very cool.
You were in a simulator or something?
I was in a simulator. I got to
A
fly
lot harder than you think. Oh, yeah, the drone. That
The
was
simulator
hard.
wasn't hard.
The drone was harder, you
The
said.
drone was hard. You know, I've never flown by stick when I fly. You know, my pilot license, single engine land.
Yeah, I don't think
I've
a lot
always-
of people know you have pilot license.
Yeah, but I've never flown by a stick. It's
Okay.
always rudder yoke, and the simulator was stick. It's like a joystick.
Okay, okay.
Some planes, of course, are like that. In fact, most of your
Right.
larger planes are all like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was still fine. It wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
But the rotorcraft, as they call it, I said drone.
Okay.
And I was corrected.
Uh-huh.
That was difficult.
Now, was that an actual one, or
Oh,
was
yeah.
it? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but it's inside a soft cage, if I can call it that, so that if it hits stuff,
Bounces
it
off,
bounces
yeah,
off.
yeah.
But yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I'm eager to get them on. I'll have to get you.
Yep.
I will get you some dates, and we will get them on
good.
for sure. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one here. It is confirmed for November 12th show that Mr. John Quinn is going to be with us. He's going to be this year's speaker at the Veterans Day ceremony on November 11th. He's got quite a story to tell. He was born with cerebral palsy, and unable to walk until age 4. Now, John kept his secret in order to join the United States Navy. In fact, he maintained that secret during his entire 20-year military career. No one knew he had it. His book, Someone Like Me, tells the details of this incredible story, and he'll be here November 12th to share those details with us. And by the way, he was raised in Garden City, but now lives in Arizona, so So if any of you are interested in coming on the show, contact us at gccommunitychat@gmail.com today. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, coming up now, Doppler Tom and the weather, and then Holly and Joey, and then we're going to get to our topics for the night. Okay, let's do a check on weather with Doppler Tom. Let's see what he has in store for the rest of this week and the weekend coming up. Tom, take it away. Hey, Tom, I have a question for you too. I've had a few listeners ask me, when are you going to be in the studio doing the weather so they can see you on video?
I tell you, I need to get there, don't I?
It was mostly hot chicks that were asking.
Thursdays are a rough day for me because I work 10. Well, let me not complain because obviously other people work too. But I'm just saying it needs to happen. But let's just say it's going to happen sooner than later. So I'll get in there, and I promise I'll get in there. So how about that?
All right, that'll pacify him for now, I guess. A lot of your equipment too is at your house too, right?
That's right too. And when I'm on the show, I'm using 3 computers, just so you realize it.
Wow. Okay. All right, well, we hope to see you in the studio someday.
think I'm doing good if I can just keep track of one. Good grief. 3 computers.
All right, so what you got for us?
Actually, today was actually not a bad day after we had dealt with such a rainy weekend out there. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday were torrential downpours. We've seen a little bit of flooding as well. Over that whole period, we got about 2 inches of rain, which is a pretty good amount of rain. And that system moved out. It was so humid, too, Kerry. Oh, my heavens. Those dew points were in the upper low to mid-70s, which is oppressive. And I know you're not a big fan of humidity. But
no, I hate it. Richard loves it.
Yeah, he can live in the Amazon for all I care. That's all the humidity that he can take.
Right.
As we get into the rest of... Did he want to say something to that?
What? What's that? No, we're good.
I don't know if you wanted to say something about that.
No, we're good.
As we get into the rest of tonight, the system is moving through Michigan, but it's overall pretty dry as we head throughout Metro Detroit. There's been rain all across the state today, and some of it was heavy at times, but a lot of it missed us, which is good because we don't really need the rain. We had enough over the weekend. So the rest of tonight, I do believe it's going to be dry out there. Those clouds are going to gradually decrease as we head throughout the overnight hours. It is going to stay mild though, in the low 60s out there. And as we get into tomorrow, we'll see a lot more sunshine than we have been dealing with the last few days. And behind the system, it is going to be a little bit on the cooler side, low 70s. So that's going to be a nice change. And as we get into the weekend, I overall am not too worried about the weekend. I was worried about the weekend a few days ago, but it looks like it's starting to change a bit. So it works in your favor, Chad. So we'll get into that in a minute. But the only downside is it is going to be a little bit warmer and a little bit more humid as we get into the weekend. Low 80s, and those dew points will be in the upper 60s. So that's going to be a little bit on the humid side. Overall, I do believe Saturday will be better than Sunday, but I do believe that there is going to be some nice weather on Sunday as well. But as we get into Sunday, I do believe that most of the day is going to be dry. As we get into the evening hours, those clouds will slowly start building up. And as we get into Saturday night into early Sunday, that's the best chance of rain, especially Saturday night into early Sunday. The morning hours might be a little bit on the cloudy side with some rain on and off. But I do believe as we get into the afternoon and evening hours on Sunday, those clouds will start breaking up and we'll see a little bit more sunshine out there. So it's not going to be a bad Father's Day. Just those fathers can sleep in as that rain and clouds are dealing with out there. And then as we get into the afternoon and evening, you should be fine. And I do believe it's going to be dry and warm. So I do believe it's going to be a salvageable weekend out there. So some good news for you, Terry, and all the other dads out there. And as we get into next week, it's going to be similar to what we've been dealing with the last few days out here. But the only change that I see is it's going to be much cooler as we head into next week. Not a whole lot of hot weather to deal with. Upper 70s to lower 80s next week, so a little bit of a change. And on and off rain at times. I don't really see a whole lot of heavy rain or any flooding to deal with that, but just some on and off rain to deal with as we head throughout next week. But the majority of next week will be dry, just that sometimes it'll be a little bit on the side. So that's too bad as we head into next week. And as we talk about the biggest stories going on across the United States, Bill has been such a big story. It's a tropical storm that developed over the weekend, and it's moved into Texas this week, and it moved up. And it's been moving all across the plains as we head throughout all this week. Texas has been dealing with such flooding, they don't need any more rain out there, and they're continuing to deal with more rain out there. And it has been moving into Oklahoma as well, Arkansas, and Missouri. And that whole quarter had to do with such a record-breaking May of flooding, and the reddest May on record. So they don't need any more rain. They're dealing with more flooding out there, and
Yeah.
it's panic out there. And that system is now moving over a high-pressure system that's in southeastern United States that has been dealing with temperatures in the 90s and 100-degree heat indices. So that's why the storm system is moving around this high pressure, and it's going to stay south of us. It's going to go into Indiana and Ohio and then move out to sea. So we're not going to be dealing with any of the flooding rain. But, yeah, the storm is slow moving, and it's going to continue to go around this high pressure clockwise. And as we talk about the western United States, as the eastern United States is dealing with all this rain and flooding, the western United States is still dealing with drought and hot weather across the southwestern United States, and wildfires are now starting to pop up all across Arizona and into California as well. So they can use any rain they can, and we on the eastern coast don't need any more rain. So it's kind of a country divided, and we can say that in more than one aspect of the country. But we won't get into that. But as we talk about some other stories, the last big story I have is a new proposal going out from the Senate. It has to do with the National Weather Service. Right now, basically the National Weather Service, which is the whole aspect of the whole weather community, has 122 offices all across the United States. We have 4 offices in Michigan. There's one in Marquette, one in Gaylord, one in Grand Rapids, and one in Detroit. This new proposal by the Senate is saying that they're going to completely readjust the National Weather Service and just have 6 offices across the United States.
Wow.
6 regional offices. So they're going to have one in the northeast, the southeast, the central north, the south central, and then 2 in the west coast. And there's a whole debacle about how that is going to affect all the other mini National Weather Service offices across each state. And a lot of people are opposed to it, obviously, in the weather community because it's going to obviously affect the local aspect of the weather forecast because that office is going to send all the forecasts out for each city in the in their region. So it's a pretty interesting proposal. I read it today, and it's very, very troubling. The only good side I see out of it is it's going to save a lot of money because each office it takes a lot to operate an office 24/7 across the United States. So the only good side I see out of it is that all that money can go into new enhancements into the supercomputers that have been generating the forecast and, of course, into the Doppler radar upgrading that they need. Yeah. But the downside is that it will compromise the forecasting of the National Weather Service, in my opinion, and they're worried about job cuts and all that. So this is going to be an ongoing battle, and we'll see what happens. But believe it or not, the National Weather Service budget is about $1 billion.
Woo.
So they have to deal with that money all across the United States. And that sounds like a lot of money, but they're still strapped for cash.
Billion,
so it's a pretty interesting bill that's going to have a lot more discussion about it. So I'll bring you updates as more information comes through. But it's pretty interesting. I just wanted to briefly mention that because, believe it or not, every single news organization in this entire country, all of their data comes from the National Weather Service. Believe it or not, they have those big egos that, I come up with this forecast on my own. And no, you take that from the National Weather Service. That's a big secret that a lot of people don't know about. So I just wanted to mention that. So those are the biggest weather stories that are ongoing in the weather community. If you want to keep tuned to the local weather information, just go to my website, DopplerTownWeather.com.
All right. Yeah, keep us posted on that, Bill. That's kind of interesting. See what happens there.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, I just want to remind all residents that the next regular city council meeting will be held on June 29th at 7 p.m. in the council chambers located at 6000 Middlebelt Road, and they urge all residents to attend. All right, now we have the weather forecast. We'll get Joey and Holly in here, and then we're going to get to our topics for tonight. Stand by.
This is Gardening in 2 Minutes. There's nothing more enjoyable than going out to your garden and harvesting your own freshly picked green beans. Green beans fall into 2 categories, pole beans and bush beans.
Pole beans take 60 to 70 days to harvest, and they will continue to put beans out and bear fruit throughout the summer. Bush beans take 40 to 60 days to reach maturity, and they will put beans out for about 2 weeks. But no matter what kind of beans you grow, it's important to pick the beans and continue to pick them so they continue to bear fruit.
Bush beans and pole beans, these are green beans. These are different than hard shell beans. Hard shell beans take a longer period of time. The hard shell beans, we're talking about white northern and kidney beans and pinto beans. That's not what we're talking about here. These are the traditional green beans, and they can come in a variety of different colors, green, yellow, and burgundy, or a purple variety. You want to plant these in a relatively fertile soil. Beans will fix their own nitrogen, so you don't have to worry about really fertilizing them. You do want to space them adequately to allow them to have space to grow.
It's important to trellis the pole beans so that they have something to grow up, which will allow for better production and easier picking.
Now, pole beans and bush beans, you can actually get 2 crops out of this. One, the early or late spring, and then figure out when your average last frost date is. Beans will die with a frost, so you want to figure out when that average last frost date is in your area, and you can back the dates off and actually get planted in midsummer and get an early fall crop for your beans. For more information on bush beans and pole beans, our weekly video productions, as well as our free downloadable digital magazines, you can find all that information at
the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com.
For the health-conscious organic gardener worldwide. For Gardening in 2 Minutes, I'm Joy Baird.
And I'm Holly Baird.
All right, thank you guys. We'll talk to you next week. All right, well, let's get to it. Richard, you're up, my man. It's been a busy day for you at the Guardian building.
Yeah.
So let's explain to our listeners what it means for the county and the residents with the declaration of a financial emergency. Let's go over that a little bit. Touch on that if you want.
Okay.
I know you didn't want to, but...
To be clear, the executive has asked for the state to conduct a preliminary review, and that is a part of the law, and it is the first step in a process that either the state can come in and say we're doing, or the chief official in a municipality or school district can say we'd like you to do it.
Okay.
In this instance, without the consent, without the vote of the commission, the executive yesterday at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, notified the state that he would wish for them to conduct a review.
So this is something that he can do on his own. He doesn't need commission's permission.
That part of it he can do on his own, and he did.
Okay.
And I should note that today at, let's see, I'm looking at my mail to see the time. Mm-hmm. Today at 5:45 p.m., the state notified us that they are going to do it. They're going to conduct a review.
Okay.
What that means is that they're going to come in and they're going to see if the financial status of the county allows for a declaration. And the declaration would be that, yes, you have I'm going to use layman's terms here. Mm-hmm. You have a situation that could result in an emergency of sorts. So they'll declare that, yeah.
So is it similar to like an audit they're going to do, or what?
That's probably a good way to look at it. Yeah, they send in a team, mm-hmm. and they evaluate. And at that point, let's just say that they agree. Yep, you've got a financial emergency.
Okay.
At that point, the law provides for one of 4 avenues to be considered. Mm-hmm. One of them could be to enter into a consent agreement, which is a contract of sorts, saying this is what we can do and this is how we'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can file for bankruptcy. You can accept the appointment of an emergency manager.
So, okay, let me stop you there.
Yep.
What would be the last scenario that you'd want to do? Emergency manager or bankruptcy? I mean, what's...
At this point, I don't know. I'm not trying to evade the question, but
Yeah.
I think I would really need to examine the findings in the declaration, so to speak. I mean, if they say all of this is just totally insurmountable and you guys didn't know it, but you owe creditors $1 zillion, well, I think that would point toward potentially bankruptcy. But that's
Right.
not our situation.
No.
Really,
It's like you said, it is better than it was 2 years ago, but
it's significantly better.
yeah.
But who we owe is ourselves. It's interesting. The taxpayers are on the line for the jail.
Right.
We spent $160 million. Mm-hmm. We have 40 left that could be spent, and it's going to take $100 to $200 million to complete something.
Wow.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you have that.
Yeah.
You have an underfunded pension system at about, using round numbers, $900 million. So right there, you're already over $1 billion of exposure, but you don't owe creditors. You owe yourself.
Yeah.
The county is responsible for that jail. The county is responsible for the pension obligation. So we don't, unlike Detroit, we don't owe the banks money.
Yeah, it's not
So it is different
Where
in that
you're
sense. So
paying back lenders or whatever.
I truly cannot envision, with the information that we have today, entering into a bankruptcy scenario because we would gain nothing.
Yeah, if you just, it would make no sense, really.
No. So
Is our pension obligations related to this 13th check stuff? Is that what puts us over the edge? Or?
that's I guess I would say that in comparison to the $900 million, it's relatively small and insignificant.
Okay.
It does play a role,
Yeah.
but it's fairly minor. So you have a consent agreement, you have filing for bankruptcy, you have an emergency manager, or you have a mediator.
Okay.
Now, a mediator is different than an emergency manager. They have different roles, they have different things they're allowed to do. I would suggest that the path that the executive would wish to have considered is a consent agreement. And the consent agreement lays out a blueprint. This is what we'll do.
Yeah.
Here's how we can accomplish it, and this is when it needs to be done. Some folks with a good memory might recognize or remember that the city of Detroit entered into a consent agreement. It was...
Was that before the emergency manager?
Yes.
Okay.
It was very unattainable. The goal was far too high. Plus, they pushed stuff off onto other government agencies like, okay, we'll have the county do all of our assessing, for example. Well, the county never agreed to that. So it was destined to fail before it was even signed. So it did fail, and then that triggers an emergency manager. So the county, in my opinion, is probably wishing to consider, and when I say the county, I mean the executive, wishing to consider a consent agreement that's real, that's attainable, to avoid both bankruptcy and an emergency manager. That's my opinion.
Now, who agrees to that? The executive and only the executive,
No,
or does
no,
the commission?
The commission.
Okay.
So
you all
the
got to be
commission-
on board.
The commission has to choose by law.
Oh.
If the state makes a declaration
Okay.
that there is a financial emergency,
Yeah.
the legislative body has to select one. And if they don't, it'll be selected for them.
Oh, okay.
And if they select one and it doesn't come about, then one of the next ones has to be selected. And that's what happened in Detroit.
So no matter what they get, there's going to be obviously more
Something's gonna
negotiating done. I mean, a lot of negotiations.
Well, provided the state comes in, as they said they're going to, beginning Friday,
Wow, that's soon.
Monday. I
Okay.
gotta get my dates right here. No, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. They're going to begin tomorrow.
Wow.
Got the letter at 5:45 today, and they said they're going to begin tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
So, provided that within the 30 days that they have to review this, and by the way, they said it's going to be expedited. They said that in the letter. So within 30 days of tomorrow, there will be a declaration as to whether or not the state says there is a financial emergency.
Okay.
I'm not sure of the exact timeline. I think it's fairly swift, like maybe even a week. At some point, the elected body has to choose one of these one of these options. It might be that they say, we'll go ahead with a consent agreement, but by law, the legislative body does not get to help draft it. So if they say, yeah, that's what we'll go with, and then it gets presented, and the commission said, we're not going for that, the commission has to choose one of the other ones. So it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be dicey, yeah.
Will the consent agreement put added pressure on the unions to take pay cuts and stuff?
Well, we don't know. It hasn't been drafted yet.
Yeah.
But I will say this. I saw a news clip today, just a few minutes, of the executive being interviewed by one of the news stations. I don't even know what channel it was. And indicated that they need, I'm going to use round numbers, $20 million from the negotiation table. That's a pretty high lift.
That's hefty, man.
So let me just say this, though. The structural deficit, as defined by this executive team, is said to be $52 million.
Right, that's what I heard.
So it's big. It's a lot of money.
It is.
However, today, the Wayne County Commission cast a vote that was authorizing a settlement of something where healthcare was involved, and the savings is a real $20 million. So now we're down to $32 million.
Wow.
Our financial team, I was privileged to be a part of a very small private meeting today. Our financial team acknowledged today they can identify $8 to $9 million of real savings that, if not proposed in the budget, can be implemented by the commission. So now,
23 to 24.
Yeah.
now we're half of what triggered the executive potentially to ask for this review.
Holy cow.
So
Where do you get the other?
when you combine that with
Yeah.
the fact that 2 years ago when I became elected, our accumulated deficit was $220 million.
Wow.
And at the end of this fiscal year, it's going to be $10 million.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
There has been
That's
significant effort, not without
Really?
pain, and I'm not trying to suggest this
Oh,
was
yeah, I
easy,
know. Yeah.
but there
On
has
the backs
been
of a lot of people.
significant movement.
Wow.
So, there
And like
was...
you said, what makes this so unusual, too, is you owe yourself.
Yeah.
That's really the
Well,
crutch of it.
borrowing from Peter to pay Paul type
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And quite frankly, allowing certain
bankruptcy would do no
privileges
good.
regarding pensions that are they're not normal.
Yeah.
And so, we shall see. It's going to be, in my opinion, a real interesting
Very
next
interesting.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a lot going on. The executive still has not provided us a budget. Whether that
Oh, wow.
interplays with all this, we don't know yet.
Yeah, he's holding
But
off on something.
I wouldn't rush any judgment yet. I would encourage folks to let the process play out and also know that this was done by the chief elected official in the county. This was not a legislative vote.
Yeah.
The legislature, the legislative body was not offered an opportunity to weigh in on all this, and there are some people that today expressed great dissatisfaction that it happened.
It's pretty much
I'm
all
not
on
one of
him.
them.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty much all on him, really.
I think that we have to be realistic about this. We have issues.
Oh, yeah.
So let's solve them in the best way possible. And
It's gotten a lot better, but
Yeah.
there's still issues.
So I'm going to read one line
Yeah.
in the executive's press release, because this, to me, it says a lot. The consent agreement, notice I said the consent agreement, so that's where he wants to go.
Right.
The consent agreement would allow the county to continue negotiations with stakeholders while also providing the county with the ability, if necessary, to make the difficult decisions needed to move the county out of financial instability. So, the executive wants a consent agreement,
Yeah, he's leaning that way.
is hoping that it would be inclusive of things that basically say, get to the table or we're going to move to a step you won't like.
Yeah. Yeah, he on the news today I saw where he says he does not want an emergency manager. He does not want that. And that line right there pretty much sums it up too. But
Well, he's also said,
I mean,
we will not be going into bankruptcy.
yeah,
But both of those options are 2 of 4. They're half of the options.
yeah, correct.
That could happen
Yep.
because of his request to go into a financial review situation or
Right.
condition with the state.
Right.
Stay tuned.
Okay, we will for sure. All right, let's move on to that. The other thing today, what we were talking about, the veto.
Yeah. This was actually a very big surprise, in my opinion, to everybody there but one person.
Yeah. Fill everybody in first of all. I mean, just a little bit about what went on prior to
As a
this.
result of the $49 million judgment and the executive making the declaration the county did not have sufficient funding to pay it,
Right.
as people know, a tax levy was determined to be necessary by the administration, not by the commission. So
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, the Wayne County Commission, by a divided vote, declared that they'd identified the money from a different source and that we would pay the money differently and not have a judgment. I was one of the people that voted in favor of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
The very next day, almost 2 weeks ago, the executive vetoed that act. Then, fast forward, it was said that there were insufficient votes to hold a veto override vote. In other words, 9 of us voted yes. It would take 10 to override a veto, and the chair determined, after consulting with certain people, that there were not 10 votes. Rather than put people in a position, I suppose, he declared we were not going to hold the vote. So, tax bills went out. And on the tax bills, it will include a 1.03 or something mil for everybody in Wayne County to pay toward the judgment. So, we get to today. It is a formal process that things like that are required to be received formally by the Wayne County Commission and then filed. RNF, receive and file. So it's very procedural. Here's a piece of paper, something we did. You're taking it in, we're filing it. During that vote today, one of the commissioners said, I wish to have that considered separately. And what it was recognition that the executive had vetoed our vote. There was a lot of discussion on it. That same person, Commissioner Basham, then moved that we have a veto override vote. There were a lot of commissioners that were very angry about that.
Whoa.
Very angry.
Yeah.
It got heated.
Yeah.
It did. And it took an hour.
They didn't want to be on public record. Did it make us?
I'm not going to speak for them. I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you that
Yeah.
they were angry.
Yeah.
And there were some
Pretty
personal insults hurled, too.
Wow.
Yeah, there was. The
Wow.
chair had to intervene
It got
twice.
ugly.
So, when it came right down
City
to it,
Council meeting.
however, there was a veto override vote today, and it failed.
Jeez.
After more than an hour of talking, the vote was cast, or the vote was held, rather.
Yeah, you
I
got the
voted in
tally
favor of overriding that veto, as did 5 other people, for a total of 6 of us.
6. And they needed 10.
Needed 10.
Jesus.
I was pretty surprised
yeah,
on
because
one
you
hand.
lost.
On one hand.
Yeah.
I was pretty surprised.
Yeah.
So, again, there was anger at that point. There was anger afterward. There were a lot of people irritated with how that came about because the chair made a ruling. I mean, he's the chairman.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to hold this vote, and the commissioner found a loophole to allow him to interject after being recognized and got it on there. And after much
Interesting.
debate and consternation, there was a vote, and it failed. Only 5 of us supported, 6 rather, myself and 5 others.
Well, those were all people who voted to do the first time, right?
Let's see.
Well, no, they had 9, right? So he
Yeah,
lost
but
3.
You lost
Lost
3.
3.
But I mean,
yes.
those 6 were all ones.
Yes, the 6 of us
Oh, okay.
were the 6 of the 9 that originally wanted to make
Okay.
it
Yeah.
not go on your taxes.
Jeez.
And then 3 people,
Yeah.
they voted
Flipped.
differently.
Flipped.
They really didn't need anybody to
I
flip.
see.
All they needed to do
Yeah.
was get
Wow.
the other 6.
That's crazy, eh?
Oh, it was crazy.
Man, oh man.
I mean, I didn't say anything throughout that entire debate. I really didn't. My position was well known. I voted to not have a tax levy. I was willing to vote to override. When the override vote wasn't being scheduled, I commented on it. It is what it is.
How is it though the county can assess a tax on us and we don't get a chance to vote on
By
that?
state law.
Okay.
You have the state law that covers
Because it's a
judgments-
1 mil. Okay, it's a
judgments
judgment.
and tax
okay,
levies.
Okay.
And when the chief
That's the difference.
official, when the executive declared we don't have the money to pay it,
Somebody's got to, huh?
just like in Inkster.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to get to that. Wow. So anything else in the county that you want to talk about that went on? Boy, it's been busy.
There is
hasn't
one
it?
more, and I it's not with great pleasure, but I will say this, that the issue that really, it was a major player in all of that tax judgment levy was the 13th check and the movement of monies that surrounded that whole issue.
Mm-hmm.
A resolution was submitted by the executive, and they asked the legislative body, the commission, to adopt it, to eliminate the 13th check. And we did that today by a very divided vote.
You eliminated it?
We
Wow.
eliminated it.
Wow.
So, and there are people that have called my office, that have sent me hate email.
Yeah.
They're very angry about it. So that you know, the average check is about $200.
Okay.
So it was at one point several thousands of dollars, but that was years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, the checks were about $200 per employee. So not a lot individually,
So
but
instead of getting-
collectively, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
We have a
yeah.
lot of retirees.
So you're
Yeah.
talking about they were getting 13 payments to 200, and now they're going to get 12 on the average?
No, I
No, I didn't
no.
know
Yeah.
that.
Some pensioners receive a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, they might get 12 checks of $8,000 apiece.
Uh-huh.
But the 13th check was $200.
Oh. So the 13th check
Okay.
wasn't
Irrespective of,
it wasn't 1/12 of
no,
But yeah, like you said, collectively, that's a lot of money.
yeah. And that was
Come
one of
on.
the criticisms too, that it wasn't a percentage. The person that got a $100,000 pension got the same amount of money as the person with a $20,000 pension.
Wow.
But it was eliminated today.
Okay.
So I have people that have called and written, they want to know who did what, and I had to tell Garden City resident this morning, I answered with my own phone, how I was going to vote, and this person was not pleased. But I said, I'm more interested in you keeping your 12 pension checks,
Yeah.
as
'cause-
opposed to like in the city of Detroit, where they lost money.
right. You got to look at the big picture.
I was
Really?
I was at a gas pump midweek, and I was
prices
approached
of
by
going up.
Yeah, they really have.
and I was approached by a Wayne County retiree.
Okay.
I'm sorry, City of Detroit retiree, but knows who I am, a constituent, and said, I lost about $280 of my pension every month because of what happened in Detroit. And I said, that's exactly what we're trying to avoid in Wayne County.
Yeah. So, yeah, now you eliminated that 13th check, so. But,
I didn't realize.
Rather than-
I didn't realize it was such a small percentage of what the other 12 checks were.
yeah.
That
It doesn't ease the pain if you're getting it.
No, it doesn't. No.
It puts a whole different light on it.
Yeah, it does. Wow. Interesting.
And that's all I have.
That's it, eh? All right, well, let's
That was
move.
just a day like all days, right?
Hey, I've said since I got there, pretty much every day brings a new discovery or challenge.
Right, right.
It's true.
Yeah. And how was the open house in your office with coffee? You good? Good
Yeah.
turnout?
Yeah, except for Jay's on vacation, so there were no Jay's
That's why
burritos.
you're answering your own phone. Yeah, where's the Jay burritos? I saw that.
Yep.
All right, moving on. The residents of Inkster are finding out that they will be assessed yet another judgment in another case of alleging excessive force in the amount of 0.47 mils on top of 6.45 mils that's already being assessed. Now, how much more can these people take? That you're talking $1.38 million. The median household income in Inkster is $26,512, and 38% of Inkster's residents live in poverty.
Right. Wow.
On a $55,000 home, a resident will pay approximately $192 to cover both settlements. Comments?
Well,
and not to mention Senator Kniesek has commented a lot on this on Facebook.
One of the police officers was involved in both of these cases.
Right. Melendez or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, this is really hurting the city when you have something like that. I mean, it's a regular Ferguson kind of thing on a smaller scale.
But
that's got to be tough for the average Inkster resident.
Did you read David's comment today about it and how he got explain the $2 million insurance now? I guess they can't use that, right?
No, it's a deductible, so it's less than a deductible.
Yeah, so Inkster has no insurance coverage for any settlement up to $2 million.
Okay.
So if the settlement is $3 million, Inkster pays $2 million, insurance pays $1 million. If it's $2 million and $1, Inkster pays $2 million, insurance pays $1.
Wow.
And if it's $1,377,500, then Inkster pays $1,377,500.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, what's the answer? There is no answer. I mean, these people have to get together and clean house. They really do. Yeah. I mean, this is just terrible. That community is.
It's one heck of a burden.
It is. Yeah.
I would imagine that you have some of the leaders within that community that are probably having options considered. I would suggest that the options are fairly narrow.
Yeah.
But
have you gone to any council meetings since all this has taken place over there?
No, I have staff there, but I haven't. I will be there next month.
Ooh.
So.
Well, that could get ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but yeah, I guess they wanted David to apologize, the local government there and everything, and I don't know. It's he tells it like it is. That's the way I see it.
I didn't see his email, so I don't know.
Yeah, you need to get on Facebook, Mike. I'm telling you, you're missing a lot.
You keep pushing for that, Gary. It ain't going to happen.
I can't even get you to text, right? You'll accept texts, but you won't text back.
What?
Oh, the computer age.
You're lucky I have my calendar on the phone now.
Yeah, right. All right, well, let's get to the world's oldest person dies peacefully in her sleep in Inkster. Inkster, Michigan, 116 years old.
Yep, Geraldine Talley.
Yeah, born May 23rd, 1899.
Someone said McKinley was president. I haven't. It's like
you can't even.
Yeah, McKinley was president.
Yeah,
I can't even fathom that. I mean,
Ransom Olds was developing the quadricycle.
Oh my God! Can you imagine? I mean, what she's seen in her lifetime. I mean, it's just wow.
Yeah, when I was at her house last year, she was like together there.
It's so good that you guys were able to recognize her like that while she was still alive and she enjoyed it. Because mentally she was still pretty sharp, right? Was she?
That was my estimation.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and I think, her daughter's like in her 80s. We're taking care of her.
Yeah, I was just going to read. She was born in Montrose, Georgia in 1899. Her husband died in 1988, and he was 95.
Wow. That's some genetic stuff there.
He was 95.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, gives you goosebumps, man, reading this stuff about her. It's just unbelievable. But just the stuff that she has seen, it's incredible.
Yep.
But you had the opportunity to meet her.
Yeah. Yep. Sat down, talked to her for about 20 minutes, I guess.
Yeah.
Her and her daughter, and I would imagine her granddaughter, who's as old as I am.
And she was always allowed to stay home, never went to a nursing home, did she?
I don't know that, but I suspect that's probably right.
Wow, that's
I know she's
great.
being buried down south,
Yeah.
and so I'm not aware of anything locally, or I'd share it. But yeah, it was. I mean, hey, it's fascinating.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. That's great. Wow. Good for her. I mean, not that she passed, but she's lived that long.
Right.
Touched a lot of lives. What was her secret? Did she ever tell you what her secret was? So living so long?
She did. I'm sure if you looked it up, it could
Yeah.
be secured, but it wasn't anything like smoking and drinking all day. Or,
Yeah, having a glass of wine every day or
I
something.
truly don't remember.
Yeah. I think I mentioned something, the good Lord or something, or a lot of faith. She had a lot of faith, so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Mike, what do you got? What do you want to talk about tonight? You got the newspaper over there. Let's got any local stuff in the Observer there?
On the obituary notice, Willie Sandman,
Yeah.
Garden City, longtime policeman, detective,
Yeah. Announcer on,
announcer at sporting events.
Omni TV.
Yeah. Fell and injured himself and passed away. That was rather unexpected.
yeah.
We got a
He's going to be buried at Great Lake Cemetery.
right, and we've got a group shown on the front page building the dugouts at Moeller Field Volunteers, which was kind of a
Proton.
Club.
Proton Club.
Yeah, another positive thing. And supposedly on June 22nd, the school board is going to listen to the Garden City Library's request to buy those lots at Berger that
Yeah.
might ultimately be a site for stand-at-home library. That doesn't mean they're going to have a library there
No.
anytime soon,
Well,
because
they
that's
gotta
like
get some money.
$3.5 million or
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
over and above the $100,000 they want to pay for the lots.
Right. I think they got like a GoFundMe page and everything trying to get the money, so.
Yeah. I was going to send them $50, but I don't think that's going to tip the balance.
No, I don't think so. What's in there about looking for a superintendent? Anything? They're going to
Other
be doing
than
some
that
interviews?
same night, they're going to do interviews
Okay.
starting at 6:00.
I think it was 4 or 5.
I don't know how many.
candidates, I thought I heard.
They had 5 potentially, I thought, and they were going to do them on 2 nights, 3 on one and 2 on another. But I don't see anything other than there's going to be interviews on the 22nd. So maybe they were able to narrow it, or maybe get narrowed down even more.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you tell somebody that they're a finalist and you want to interview them, that's the point where they decide, well, I've got to do this or do that, and they say,
Yeah.
on second thought, withdraw my application.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they will. They'll drop out. Yeah. I see they,
Until that time, their current employers didn't have any idea that they were doing this.
I see they tore down the old Penske building in front of Kmart. That's all gone.
Yeah,
You see that?
yeah. And
Finally.
And the Berger School.
Is it all down? I know yesterday it was not all down.
Well, I think we went by there and there might have been part of a wall up or
Yeah.
something still. It's probably down by now, I'm sure, but
Apparently
yeah,
the Berger
Berger's.
School has been torn down, too.
Yep, that's gone.
I haven't driven by there, but
Yeah, so
they hope to take that land and turn it into a...
don't know what they're
Home
going to do
development.
in front of Kmart there, but
No.
somebody obviously has got some plans to do something. I hope it's interesting, whatever it is. The old Knights of Columbus lot is back for sale. I guess that fell through.
Yeah, the pawn shop that want to do
jewelry
go there.
pawn shop. Yeah. So, yeah, that's too bad. I don't like to hear that or see that. We got to get these buildings occupied. That's for sure.
Yeah,
On a good note,
the McDonald's thing is apparently still treading water at McDonald's headquarters. Whether they're going to act on that or not, we don't know. But
on a
kind of
good
hope they would.
On a good note, though, we did have a new business open in Garden City at Cherry Hill and Vinoy, Francesco's restaurant. Used to be the Greek Flame where the car went through it. Francesco's bought it, put a lot of money into the place, and really, really nice. Really nice. Doing a good business over there. So
Good.
head on over to Francesco's, get you some breakfast or something, and say hi. Tell them GC Community Chat sent you. I don't know. Maybe they'll kick you out or they'll give you something. Who knows? But no, it's a very nice place. They put a lot of money in that place. So good to see. Good to see. Let's see what else we got. Anything else, guys? Richard, what do you got coming up? Anything? How is Libby? How is Libby, your dog?
Yeah,
Libby had surgery.
Libby had surgery, and so she is
Home, recovering.
home. She got home at about, I'm going to say 6 o'clock, I guess, and so yeah, poor Libby.
Who did the surgery? Want to give the vet a shout out?
Parkway, is that what it's called? Ford and Lilly.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they're just they're good. They've had Libby since Libby was a new puppy, and
Yeah.
Libby's had a few issues, and so
Right.
yeah, she has a number of growths,
Uh-huh.
and a couple of them intruded into her feet, and they had to amputate a toe. In fact, I think maybe it was 2 toes.
Okay.
So she's a good pup.
Yeah.
She's 13 years old.
Yeah, Zoe's, let's see, she's 11. She gets those masses, too. She has, like, they're like fatty tumors.
Is that what they call them?
Yeah, fatty tumors. And she's got them on her stomach and that. But the vet says as long as it doesn't bother her, I mean, they're fine. There's nothing, really wrong with them. So, but, well, let's hope for the best for Libby. She'll be doing fine. She'll bounce back.
Yeah, hopefully. Cheryl was kind of a wreck today.
Yeah.
That's her daughter.
I know. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. All right, moving on. If you haven't been to Brenda's Butterfly Habitat yet, you don't know what you're missing. Located at Barson's Greenhouse.
Missing butterflies.
Yeah, 6414 Merriman Road. For 2015, she's now open through September 5th, Thursday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Closed when it's raining. It's a great place to hang out with the kids, the grandkids, or just by yourself. Head
Do the
on
butters
over there.
fly away when it rains, or what's the story with that?
I don't know. I really don't know why.
They can't fly away.
No, they can't get out of there. But why
Being
is she closed?
sarcastic. Is it because she's outdoors?
No, it's enclosed.
No, it's all enclosed.
It's all enclosed.
I know, but
I don't know why.
okay.
And they have, just like at the zoo, they've got like a double plastic doorway
Right,
thing.
to keep them
So
in.
that even if one of them was on your clothes and followed you to the
You know what I think it is? I
first
think
door, you could still prevent it from getting out the side.
I think she doesn't want people coming in there wet and maybe muddy or something, because it's all brick pavers and everything in there. So that could be. I don't know. I'll have to ask her next time I see her. But anyway, it's all free, but donations are accepted. Check it out. You won't be sorry. And the GCBA would like to mention any business owner interested in becoming a member of the GCBA. Please visit their website at gcbiz48135.
How'd your meeting go at Gordon Chevrolet?
I want to tell you that meeting went real well.
Good.
It went longer than we thought. It was over 2 hours long.
Wow.
But what we had to do was we went through the bylaws and we went through our articles of incorporation. So the membership, we all agreed on it, and we're going to make our revisions, send it out, get their okay, and then we'll send it in to David, and he'll send it in for along with the 501 that we're still waiting for. But it went real well. Gordon Chevrolet did a fantastic job. Oh my God. They just rolled out the red carpet for us. It was really awesome. And we pretty much voted to open it up to all businesses, organizations, and residents.
Wow.
So, it's going to grow. I mean, we got a lot accomplished, so look forward to hearing more about the Garden City Business Alliance. You can find out more information on their Facebook page at facebook.com/Garden City Business Alliance, where you'll find, like I said, a lot more information. You'll need to, where you'll find information to become a member. And if you would like to talk to someone, please call them at 734-788-9319. The GCBA meets on the second Friday of each month, and their next meeting will be July 10th, 9 a.m. at the Straight Farmhouse in the Grand Parlor. That's located at 6221 Merriman Road. So bring your ideas and some business cards, because networking is what it's all about. The GCBA is talking about some great events planned in the future for the community, so why not join and be a part of it? Okay, with some more announcements, here's Mike.
Okay, Carrie. Did you know that the Garden City Public Library offers drop-in computer tutoring
I knew.
every
That's awesome.
Tuesday
I like that.
from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.?
That is great. I think that's a great thing.
So if you need to brush up on your basics,
Yep.
come on in and take advantage of this great resource.
And your seniors get out there too.
Library is located at 31735 Maplewood in the community building. For more information, call 734-793-1830. And the next one, come out and support our boys. Garden City High School Boys Soccer is having a fundraiser June 20th. That's Saturday, isn't it?
Yep, that's this Saturday.
All day at the sports venue in Garden City, located at 6327 Millbelt Road. There's going to be food, music, trivia, and a bake sale.
Feud?
Food. You know, it's
A feud?
yeah.
Are they going to use swords and stuff?
Feud. That's good feud. That's what you have at a meal time. Feud.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I grew up in Westland.
Yeah. I don't know anybody's taking pictures of their summer shandy bottles. Better watch how critical they're getting here. Okay, the Garden City Garden Walk. Tour 8 beautiful and unique yards. Get new ideas, share knowledge, and enjoy the day. Tickets are on sale at Lucky Dog, Luxury Daycare, and at boarding, and at Barson's Greenhouse at 6414 Merriman Road. Lucky Dog is at 5921 Middlebelt.
Mm-hmm.
It's $8 or two people for $15, rain or shine.
Oh, it'll be rain.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Don't even say that, Cheryl LeBrain.
My amateur prognostication still say that if the Tigers are out of town, it'll probably be nice.
Yeah.
We say rainy weather for when they come back.
Actually, the preview's tomorrow night, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Tomorrow night.
And mark your calendar for the Lucky Squirrel Flea Market event, Saturday, June 27th. Much, much bigger than last year. Arts, crafts, vintage goods, auto parts, jewelry, glassware, books, and so much more. You have to come see it for yourself.
Any feud?
No feud.
No?
10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 5805 Central Avenue, Farmers Parking Lot, for the Middle Belt, next to Kmart's.
All right.
And the last one is the Hospice of Michigan is having a veteran pinning ceremony on Wednesday, July 1st at 10 a.m. at the Maplewood Senior Center. Veterans representing each of the military branches will be presented a certificate reflecting their branch of military service, an American flag pin honoring and thanking them for their military service.
Are you stopping over there for that? Did you hear about that? Yeah, I just found out about that too.
You can RSVP by calling Kim Fix.
Commission on Aging got it.
Friday, June 26th.
Yeah, it's a nice
at
thing.
248-353-2831 or kfix@hom.org.
All right, awesome. And I did want to mention, congratulations go out to Senator David Knisik. He texted me today, and his service dog bill that he has worked hard on passed through the Senate today, 38-0.
Sweet.
We
So,
can only agree on road bills.
yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
I heard about a road bill today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a,
4-bill road bill, isn't it?
well, no, that's, aside from that, that was Representative McCready. No, I heard about a bill today that's making its way through the legislature to allow these multiple operator bicycles to serve alcohol while you're doing it. You ever seen one of these goofy things?
Multiple.
They got a bunch of people that they pedal,
Yeah.
and
Like a bicycle built for 8?
yeah,
Okay.
and you're all facing the center though, where there's like this bar. And my first thing
Really?
was, seriously,
Are you
they're
kidding?
worried about allowing them to drink alcohol
Oh, my God.
while they're pedaling on a public road, and they're not going to fix the darn roads first.
No way.
I hope that does not get.
They better
considered.
not even get consideration. Exactly. Oh, I know what speaking of that, you were talking about somebody introduced a bill to allow absentee ballots or something for
Oh, yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that idea.
SD belts for what?
Explain it.
So Our Secretary of State, Ruth Johnson, has asked that we have true no reason absentee voting as an option. Today, unless you fit one of the 4 criteria, you're not legally supposed to be voting absentee out of the community, over age 60, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Handicap.
And what she's saying is we should encourage people to utilize every method available to vote. And if that
Right.
includes saying, look, I want to vote by mail.
I think it'll work.
Yeah.
I think it'll
do too.
get more people to vote. It really will. I like it.
Yeah.
So do we know where it is? I mean, how can we follow that?
Testimony occurred today. I
Okay.
don't know where it is right now, but I would suspect that here's what happened.
Well, we need
Democratic caucus has been trying to do this for 20 years with no success because there's always been a divided government. It certainly wasn't going to come about until earlier this year, not too long ago. The people that are affiliated with Democrats said, we're going to get a citizen initiative going and we'll get it on the ballot.
Okay.
And we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, our Secretary of State and the previous Secretary of State, Terry Lynn Land, they have both advocated for this their entire careers.
They're Republican, right?
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
So what's happened is a Republican state rep, Lisa Lyons, is now working with the Secretary of State, and I suspect you're going to see this come about.
I hope it gets some movement on it. Yeah, we need to get some people behind that for sure.
And by the way,
I like
the thing
it.
I was just talking about is called a pub cruiser. It's a
I've never seen it.
16-person bar hopping bicycle.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
And they want to allow them to be able to serve alcohol. So there's a
Come on.
proposal
Well, they
right
have from
now,
one bar to another. They're going to serve alcohol.
apparently.
Well, let me tell you, we have more pressing issues than this. They need to
I
table
thought it was
that.
comical.
That's
On
crap.
one hand.
Yeah,
But anyway,
it is.
so yeah, let's hope that absentee voting comes about.
Yes,
And
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
All for it. I think that would,
There's no addition. I've been asked because somebody wrote to the office, and they asked me about additional fraud because they saw my Facebook post, and I said, "There's no opportunity for additional fraud as regards absentee voting.
yeah, I don't.
A voter can elect to receive an absentee ballot. They get one. If it's spoiled, they have to turn it back in and receive
Right.
another one.
Yep.
But it's like it's only going to a voter.
Yeah, right,
So-
exactly.
Yeah, the instances.
What are your thoughts?
The instances of fraud on these things are way overblown.
Yeah.
It's like some small fraction of a percent, and
To me, this
and,
is.
and if the Republicans, some of the Republicans had their way, they'd say, "Oh, the elections would be compromised because there'd be so much of this and that."
Yeah.
And that.
Well-
That's just bullshit.
But to be fair, nice assessment, but to be fair, it will happen because the Republicans now want it for whatever reason. Who
Yep.
cares?
Yep.
You
You're
know,
right.
They're in control.
Yep.
They're bringing it up. I'm glad for that.
And personally, I hope they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything
Absolutely.
that can potentially increase
Voting.
voter participation,
Right.
in my opinion, will always be a good thing.
To me, this is as close as you're going to get to electronic voting. A lot of people want you to be able to vote on your smartphones.
Yeah, I
as-
was asked that recently
this
at
is
a
as cl-
candidate screening, and I'm not there with that.
And I'm not there yet either.
And here's what I said,
But
because
this
one
is
person
as close
challenged
as you'll
me.
get.
What I said was, in this age of electronics where tomorrow your identity can get stolen,
Oh, yeah, they can hack anything today.
your identity can get stolen, they can make your life miserable,
Oh.
where
Big time.
you can have people take ownership of houses they don't have, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not comfortable with being able to vote.
No, I agree.
In an electronic manner.
I
But
agree with you.
I'm open-minded about efforts to increase voter participation. This
Yep.
is one of them. Let's get it through.
Yep. All right. I think we all agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's pass it. Let's vote. Do I hear a motion?
I think it passed unanimous, 3-0.
All right, I got a couple announcements here, and then we'll wrap it up. The Straight Farmhouse, don't forget, they're doing their outdoor flea markets. They're located at 6221 Merriman Road, the second and third Saturday of the month. Their next one will be June 20th. That's this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Setup begins at 8 a.m. It's only $15 for a 10 by 10 space. Monies from the space rental go directly to the museum, and that is payable on the day of the flea market. Restrictions are no weapons, no offensive pictures, or literature. The flea market will be held at the Straight Farmhouse Outdoor Flea Market. Will be canceled due to inclement weather. So head on over there this Saturday. Check it out. Also, the American Legion Post 396, August 15th, will be having a golf outing at Warren Valley Golf Course. It's a shotgun start at 9 a.m. It's $100 per golfer, 18-hole scramble. Let's see, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, raffles, and much more. And there's a $15,000 hole-in-one. Mike?
Yeah, I've already told you that until they open it up a little broader and start allowing holes in 15, I'm not interested.
There you go. Proceeds will be benefiting Stiggy's Dogs and the Home Food Pantry of Garden City.
I have 3 gloves.
Please register by August 5th. If you're interested, please give Dick King a call at 734-564-7080. And I think that's all I got. That's all I have for right now. All right, let's see. What do we got here? Announcements are done. Well, you know what? I think it's time to call this a podcast. Podcast. I want to thank my co-hosts for tonight, Richard, Tom, and Mike. Great job as always. And also thanks to Holly and Joey all the way from Wisconsin for their gardening tips. And thank you everyone who hung out with us in the chat room and to those that will be watching later on the YouTube channel. We really appreciate your support every week. Remember, the audio from tonight's show will be made available on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GCChat shortly after we sign off tonight. And look for tonight's video sometime tomorrow or on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/communitychatshow. Okay, remember, the success of a community depends on the community, so please support your local businesses. And if you see something, say something. Look out for one another out there. For all your weather information, head on over to DopperTomsWeather.com. He's got a great little website over there. So join us next week right here on TalkShoe.com, show ID 82757, when we'll be live with another episode of GC Community Chat. So on behalf of Richard, Tom, Mike, Holly, and Joey, this is Carrie. Take care and see you next time.
Good night.
Night.